Good afternoon, I'm Valeria Ferrari, and in this webinar we will see how to read a report from BTS TMJOINT. As you know, BTS TMJOINT is the innovative solution for the functional evaluation of the dental occlusion. It provides a quantified evaluation of the neuromuscular balance and an objective analysis of the patient occlusal state. In this sense, BTS TMJOINT is a support in the planning or the choice of a treatment or of the rehabilitation process, or also in the evaluation of the use of a bite or a mouth guard, or everything that can modify the morphological shape of the TMJ. Thanks to the software developed, a specific report can be generated after the acquisition trials on the patient. And let's see how to read each page of the report. In order to evaluate the occlusal state, BTS TMJOINT analyzes the contraction intensity of the masticatory muscles, so the activity of the temporalis anterior and the masseter, and this represents the first lever of the evaluation protocol. If we are interested also in the interference of the occlusal with the postural chain, we will analyze also the activity of the sternocleidomastoid muscle or the upper trapezius muscle using the 6-channel evaluation protocol. In this slide, we can see the first page of the report with a 4-channel evaluation protocol. The image of the dental arc summarizes all the indexes evaluated. The blue target is related to the activity of the temporalis anterior, and the red one is related to the activity of the masseter muscle. The gray stripe represents the normative band. In particular, the vertical one is related to the POC index, and the horizontal one is related to the barycenter index. So the crossing of the stripes represent a perfect occlusion, and the rectangles highlight the normality range of both targets. As you can see, you can easily compare different results. In this case, we compare the initial condition of the patient with the new occlusal state of the patient, for example, after the design of a bite. Or, of course, you can check the progress reached comparing the results from different sessions. As you can see in the section below, are reported all the indexes related to the target. In the first column are listed the normative bands of each index. In the second column are listed the result obtained with the first acquisition. And in the third column are listed the percentage related to the position of each target. So R is for right, L for left, and for the barycenter A is for anterior and P posterior. And as you can see, you can compare all the indexes evaluated in the first session, so in the precondition, and those evaluated in the second, in the last session, so in the post condition. Just quickly see the meanings of the indexes listed in the first page. The POC index is the percentage of overlapping coefficient. It evaluates the contraction symmetry between each couple of homologous muscles, so temporalis right versus temporalis left, and the masseter right versus masseter left. The barycenter index evaluates the position of the occlusal barycenter. It's obtained comparing the prevalence of both temporalis versus both masseter. In physiological condition, the barycenter is a little bit posterior, and if it moves anteriorly, this can lead to a pathological condition because an anterior barycenter can overload the TMJ. The torsion index evaluates the prevalence of the cross muscles. In the first page, the report is represented by the arrow in the target, and this index shows if there's a lateral displacement behavior of the jaw, not a macroscopic displacement, of course. In the second page of the report are listed the same indexes, but also the torque index with the same meaning of the torsion index, the active index with the same meaning of the barycenter index, the cervical load, if you use the 6-channel evaluation protocol, and the impact and the asymmetry index that I'm going to explain in the following slide. Looking at the figure, the bars represent the intensity of the electrical activity. The full bar is related to the muscle with the greatest activity intensity, and the intensities of the other muscle will be compared with this one. As I mentioned, the asymmetry index is related to the contraction symmetry, and it evaluates the prevalence of the side muscle, so right versus left. And the impact index is related to the work produced during the clenching. So these indexes show if the patient is a clencher, or for example, the patient has a weak bite, and of course if the patient has a normal bite. In the third page are reported the cake diagrams related to each trial. In the first row there are the diagrams of the first acquisition, and in the second row the diagrams of the second acquisition. The first and the second columns show the average activity of each muscle in microverse relative to the clenching trials performed with and without Cotterware. The third column instead shows the percentage value of the average activity of the four muscles as the ratio between the values obtained from the clenching trials with and without the Cotterware. In the histogram page, it's possible to see the valuation of each index during the 3 central seconds of the acquisition. Each bar is the average of the index in an interval of 25 milliseconds. For the epoch index, if the bar is white, there's a prevalence of the right side, and instead if it's red, of course, there's a prevalence of the left side. Regarding the torsion, a white bar shows a rightward torsion attitude, a red bar shows a leftward torsion attitude. Regarding the barycenter, a white bar indicates that the barycenter is moved anteriorly, while the red color posteriorly. In the last tab of the report, you can customize the printed report. You can insert the data of the center and also your logo. Moreover, you can customize the color bar related to the intensity of contraction. The last page of the report shows the result obtained with the clenching protocol. As you know, this protocol requires 2 separate trials lasting both 15 seconds, in which the patient must chew a chewing gum holding it on one side only. The graph obtained is about the coordination of masticatory muscles. The blue dots result from the trial of clenching on the right side, the red dots from the trial of clenching on the left side. If the patient has a good level of chewing coordination, the 2 ellipses of confidence are equidistant from the origin, and they are characterized by a reduced dimension. Moreover, for each chewing trials, 5 indexes are evaluated. The frequency index is the number of masticatory acts per second. The MODMAD index is the distance from the center of the ellipse to the origin. The impact index the impact index related to the temporalis and the master muscle, and the SMI is the index of chewing symmetry. It's a unique index, and the ideal value is 50%. Okay, thank you for your kind attention. See you on the next webinar. Have a nice day.